What's up, BNation? BNation. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome, BNation, to our online vision workshop for 2026. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So, once again, welcome, everyone. I am so glad so glad that you're here. Thank you for making the time to intentionally pause, reflect, and seek God's direction for 2026. So the workshop is not about pressuring, rushing, or trying to keep up with anyone else. It's about alignment, obedience, and clarity. So that's why we are having this workshop today. So make sure you get something to jot down so you can ask these questions. So this evening we are creating space for God to speak, for us to reflect honesty, and to write the vision He placed in our hearts. So y'all know 2026 is coming up. It is always important for us to have something written down when it comes to goals. Listen, there is no comparison here. Your journey is your own, right? Don't compare yourself to what someone else is doing. Your journey is your own. Allow yourself to be present. Minimize distractions if possible. All right, so let's enter this time with open hearts and expectancy. Yeah, excuse me. Before we begin, let's invite God into this space. God, we just thank you for this moment. We invite your presence, your wisdom, and your peace. Clear our minds from distraction, anxiety, and fear. Help us to hear you clearly and follow you faithfully. We commit this time and our plans to you. In Jesus' name, amen. So, y'all, our foundational scriptures are for this vision board workshop we have two scriptures. I want to share Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. And then the other one is Proverbs 16 and 3, commit your works to the Lord and your plans will be established. So whether you're saved or not, you need to be disciplined in what you want to do. I'm going to put those two foundational scriptures in the chat, y'all, so y'all can have it, so you can write it down. But these are our foundational scriptures for our online workshop tonight. All right, y'all. Let's make it happen. Let's pin this as well. Oh, what did I just do, y'all? Oh, oh, I thought. Okay, I got it. So, y'all, I put the scripture in the comment section. So those are our foundational scriptures. Those are the things that you want to use. So as we move through this workshop, remember, writing the vision is an act of faith, and committing it to God is an act of trust. Okay? I'm going to say that again. All right? Remember, writing the vision is an act of faith, and committing it to God is an act of trust. Okay? So let's set the purpose and intentions for this workshop. What we are doing, we are getting ourselves ready for 2026. We're writing our goals down. We're putting our vision out there so we can have something that we can use to navigate 2026 on. If you have not, there's a prophetic word from Prophet Joshua Giles that's on one of my Vlogmas. I would admonish you or encourage you to make sure you listen to that. It will also help you guide, some of the things that you're going to do in 2026 based on the changes that we are having. No matter what your goal is, one should always be you trying to learn AI. AI is not going anywhere. You have to learn it. If you don't learn it, you're going to be left behind. I'm just being honest with you. You need to learn AI. You need to get in a class. You need to play around with it. But you need to make sure you get in a class or you learn AI because that's where we are headed. It's here now. It's not going anywhere. Okay? So let's talk about What do you need to release in order to be fully present right now? Right? You're working on your visions. What is it that you need to be fully present so you can write your goals down? Don't think about the kitchen. Don't think about what food you're going to eat after this. Let's be fully present in this moment. What would it look like for you to show up honestly in this space, right? Ask yourself this, because a lot of times when we do things online, we're easily distracted, right? Are you willing to hear from God even if his direction challenges your comfort? This is really a time where I believe that we're going to be challenged like we've never been challenged before. Why? Because of the changes that are coming, right? We're moving from a dollar type of, we moving into the digital, and I know y'all think, well, we already in digital. No, this is just a little different. So we need to prepare ourselves for that, and we need to put some strategies in place to make sure um, that we are navigating that space well. Okay. So I would, if you don't have a notebook, if you don't have paper, you need to get it. If you're on your computer, great, but you need to get it. So let's talk about reflection. That we need to close 2025, right? So before we look ahead, we need to look back. We can't carry clarity into 2026 if we haven't processed 2025. Okay. I want you to reflect honestly without judgment on the past year. Let's just start reflecting, right? Look at everything, right? It's important. What truly worked for me in 2025 and why? I'm gonna read that again. And y'all, I'm going to add a PowerPoint to this stage. Give me 1 second here. All right, there we go. So, what worked in 2025? These are the things that you wanna. These are the things you wanna ask yourself. What truly worked for me in 2025 and why? You need to really be honest with yourself. Write that down. It's important. What drained me, distracted me, or delayed me in 2025? Be honest about it. Is it friends? Is it family? Was it your job? I mean, what drained you, distracted you, or delayed you in 2025? Right? Think about it. Really think about it. Jot it down. Where did I see God's hand even when things didn't go as planned? How did God show up for you even though things didn't go the way that you planned? Things turned a totally different way than what you expected. I know 2025, there were a lot of things that was very surprising for me. I'm just hands down. I'm just telling you, hands down. It was really, really, really some I had some surprises that I just didn't know that was going to happen. And so as a result of those surprises, there there's a different direction that I have to go. Right? So think about those things as well. What patterns does God want me to break? Did you see any patterns in 2025 that was detrimental to your purpose? That was causing confusion in relationships in any way? What patterns does God want me to break? Really think about it. What lessons am I carrying forward into 2026? Really take a few moments to write. There are no right or wrong answers, so only honesty, right? So I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes just to kind of write some of those down because it is important for you to navigate through that, right? You need, even if it's just one thing for the questions, what lessons are you carrying forward? These are really, really important questions. And if anybody want to share, you're not shy, You don't want to tell too much of your business, but if you want to share anything in the comment section, please do so. We would love to hear from you. So it is important. Write those down. All right. So guys, our next step is we're gonna vision casting for 2026. So we're gonna start. Now it's time for we've looked back. We've kind of answered those questions. What worked? What didn't work? What do we learn about ourselves, or what is God asking us to release? We've answered those questions. So now let's move forward to now we want to cast our vision for 2026. It is important to have something written down, right? Now we shift from reflection to vision, right? Vision is not about pressure or timeline. So let me just stop right there. A lot of times when we do our goals and our visions, we feel pressured on so many different areas. Well, I got to get this done in 3 months. No, I don't. I don't want to be that type of. I don't want you to go into 2026 with that type of mindset. It is important that you understand. Number one, this is no pressure. This vision board is for you. It's your direction in the way that you're going to take for 2026. Okay. So here are some of the vision areas you might want to look at. And if you want to add some more, you can. But vision is not about pressure or timelines. It's about alignment with God's will. We'll focus on several areas as I need each one. As I name each one, ask God what He wants to grow, change, or establish. Right. So the first vision area, right? Faith and spiritual growth. That's your first one. Faith and spiritual growth. Let's write down one or two visions in that area. How is God calling me to grow spiritually in 2026? Is He asking you to spend more time with Him? Is He asking you to get involved in church somewhere, in ministry somewhere? Not necessarily even church, but just in ministry in general. Is He asking you to do something, uh, you know, through your gifts, right? When it comes to ministry or some type of calling that He's called you to do, and has He called you into the workplace? There's so many. How is God calling me to grow spiritually in 2026? Is He asking you to be more kind? Is He asking you to be more compassionate? All of these things you should be writing down and trying to figure out. It is important that you figure out how is God calling me to grow spiritually in 2026, right? The next question: what habits or disciplines is He asking me to strengthen? This is all under faith and spiritual growth. How is God calling me to grow spiritually in 2026? And what habits or discipline is He asking me to strengthen? Right? Because we all have habits, or there's some things that we need to discipline. There are areas in our life that we need really to discipline. So think about those things. Think about those things. What is it that I need to strengthen? Right? What good habits that I need to keep, and what bad habits that I need to get rid of? It is important that we understand that, right? That we write a goal in that particular area. Relationships, right? Which relationships need healing, boundaries, or deeper investment? This is a really, really good one. Which relationships need healing, boundaries, or deeper investment? This is important because relationships can shape who you are. They break you or they make you. It determines sometimes how far you can go. Being around the right people is important. So you have to be able to determine which relationships need healing, boundaries, or some type of deeper investment. What is God calling me to who is God calling me to love better or let go of? Who is God calling me to love better or let go of? That is so important. And it's important, but it's also a hard choice to make. And so you really do have to ask God to help you with this particular question. Who is God calling me to love better or let go? Right? Our next section is purpose and calling. Where do I feel peace and not pressure? Where do I feel peace and not pressure? Because that's going to help you frame your goal under this area. What gifts has God been nudging me to use more boldly? Is it finances? Are you supposed to be helping folks with finances? All of your giftings. I'm not talking about a spiritual gift, but your natural gifts, like things that naturally come to you. What gifts has God been nudging me to use more boldly? Right? Health, finances, and stewardship is another good one. How can I honor God with my body, time, and resources? Do you need to lose weight? Right? Do you need to knock off a few pounds? Do you need to change your eating habits? Right? How have you managed your time in 2025 and your resources? This is extremely important, right? Health, finances, and stewardship. How well are you stewarding your money? Have you saved any money in 2025? Did you pay off any debts in 2025? Right? And how you're going to handle your finances in 2026. It is important. So how can I honor God with my body, time, and resources? These are all important questions that you need to put goals under. What does wise stewardship look like for me next year? And I'm talking in every area, like health, finances, your career. What does that look like? What does wise stewardship look like for me the next year? Right? Ask yourself this question. God, what are you inviting me into? Not what do I feel? Not what do I feel rushed to accomplish? Right? Let me say that again. Not what do I feel rushed to accomplish? Right what comes with peace, clarity, and confirmation, not comparison. Do not compare yourself to anybody. Don't look at what everybody else doing. It does not matter, y'all. Okay. So we now it's time with after you answer all of those questions, right? Because those questions are extremely important, right? They're extremely important. So now you're going to use all of those questions to navigate how to create your vision board for 2026. Or even if you don't want to create a vision board, you can write down your goals, right? Now it's time to create your vision board. You can do this digitally or physically, right? Now you can go on Canva and all these different things. You can create digital vision boards, or you can just do it physically. Like I said, you can write down your goals. You can get a poster from like the dollar store, whatever you need to do to help you create something that's wonderful. So as you create, be intentional. Choose images, words, and scriptures that align with what God showed you, not trends or expectations. So even if you do not believe in God, just make sure that whatever you do, that it aligns with what you want to do. Right? Let the board reflect your prayer, obedience, and purpose. Your vision board needs to reflect prayer, obedience, and purpose or purpose. Right? That's extremely important. And take your time with it. There is no rush, but you want to have something that's going to guide you throughout 2026 that you can look back on and say, okay, where am I when it comes to my goals and my vision? Not for it to pressure you, but for you to remain in alignment. Okay. Make sure that your vision board creation make the vision visible and intentional, right? right? Does the image or word align with God's direction or my emotions, right? So why, in other words, let me give you a prime example. Why do you want the Mercedes? Do you want it so you can be impressive? Um, do you want it so you can show off? I mean, you know, check your emotions and check your motives behind why you want this. Why does this image even matter? Is this something that God placed in your heart, or is it something you just want to brag about? Right? What scripture supports this vision? If I look at this board 6 months from now, will it still reflect my faith? Right? These are the type of questions that you want to ask yourself. Am I choosing this out of obedience or comparison? Right? This is so important, y'all. When you are creating this vision board, it is so important to make sure you're doing it with the right motives and you're doing it out of obedience and not comparison. It is extremely important. It really is. All right. So, y'all, it is also important for you to, there is power in speaking what God has shown you, whether out loud or quietly. I invite you to speak your vision, right? Speak life and commitment to your vision. What am I declaring over my life in 2026? It matters what you say over your vision. What fears do I need to surrender as I speak this vision? Right? So as you're making your declarations, right, over 2026, what fears do I need to surrender as I speak this vision? Right? Where do I need God's strength to stay consistent? Because y'all know we start out, it is no different than what everybody's starting out on the gym in January, and by the end of January, no one shows up at the gym, right? Oh, I'm gonna start a year off and I'm gonna lose weight. Well, and then you start off going every day, you know that's not obtainable. So don't set a goal to go to the gym every day. Why don't you set a goal to go to the gym twice a week, right? Or once a week and then pick it up, right? And then go to the gym once a week and then maybe walk around the building or something the other 2 days, right? But don't make goals so immediate to where you jump into this and then then you can't stay consistent, right? Am I willing to trust God with timing, not just the outcome? This is so important. Don't try to um, you know really navigate um, don't try. Let me go back to the slide. Don't try to force things along, right? Pace yourself. So you have to be willing to trust God with the timing of the vision coming to pass, not just the outcome. Okay. So your next steps, right? You're gonna encourage and follow through because we start out well, but we just don't have any follow through. We do not stay accountable to anyone, which is problematic. How often will I revisit this vision? Let's just not write goals and then you don't go back and you don't revisit the goals or the vision that you put in front of you, right? Let's not do that. Who will help keep me accountable? Do you have an accountability partner? Do you have someone that will hold you accountable, that will help you stay on track with this? Not someone that's going to get on your nerves, but someone that will at least check in with you every quarter and say, hey, how are things going? What is one action step I can take in January? What action step I can take in January? What can you do? What would obedience look like even if progress feels slow? Because sometimes when we feel like our progress is slow, right, we think that we are not navigating or we're not pursuing our vision, but that's not true. Remember, we're going to trust God with our timelines and outcome, right? So it is important that we understand that declaration over your vision and being accountable to someone will be extremely helpful for you. Okay, I'm gonna take this down, y'all. Okay. So I want you guys to make sure, even if you have to look at the replay over and over again, to make sure you get the questions and so you can navigate your vision for 2026. That will be wonderful. But don't forget that it is important for you to begin to make time and make space for your vision for 2026. Don't get caught up in timelines. Don't get caught up in the comparisons. Just make sure that you are aligning yourself with the will of God. And if you don't believe in God, but you align yourself with purpose, that you see your goals through and be accountable to someone. It is important. Vision is important, right? Vision is important. Without vision, the people perish. So let's make sure that we look at the replay of this and start jotting things down. Okay, so this is what I need to do under this area. This is what I need to do here. But let's make sure that we are doing something for 2026, vision wise, goals wise, and make sure that we are going to go back to those goals and look at those goals so we can make some progress in what we want to do. Y'all, time does not wait on anybody. So you can't keep saying, oh, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to it. You have to put some action behind your steps. So I appreciate you guys joining this. Like I said, this is something you can go back and listen to, jot down, listen to the questions, write it down, all of that beautiful stuff will be able to help you draft your vision for 2026. If anyone needs any help, please know that I am a coach. Um, I've been in higher ed for almost 20 plus years. I advise students on careers. I also have my own coaching business. So if you need a coach, I do have an introductory rate. I think it's $59.99 for 45 minutes, just to kind of help you with your goals and what you want to do. And if you don't want to do the introduction, and the reason why I do the introductory with that price, because every coach and a person doesn't always line up. So you need to vibe with your coach so you can be able to get some things done. If you don't vibe, you didn't spend a whole lot of money, but you got some coaching tips and skills. So if you mention this vision board workshop, and I won't give you a discount on the introductory rate, but if you just buy a package, I will give you a 20% discount if you mention that you watch the online vision board for 2026 and you get your goals aligned. So remember, 20% off of any coaching packages on my website at bernadettewashington.org. Let me put that on here. I'll put it in the comment section as well. 20% off of any coaching package except for the intro package. So y'all, but you need to mention that you watched this video, right? So, and the only way you can know if you watch, if you watch at the end. So, and let me see if I can put this across here, y'all. And then if y'all have any questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. If you have any. If you have any questions, let me know. So, like I said, if just mention that you watched the online 2026 um, online workshop, and if you, I'll give you 20% off for any coaching package except the intro package. Okay, so guys, like I said, make sure you watch this over and over, listen to the questions, jot your stuff down, and hey, and let's go. Let's do what we need to do for 2026. Let's go after purpose. Let's walk in purpose. Uh, Listen, and let's take this world by storm. Okay, y'all. So I will see you guys on y'all. There's a part one to the Vlogmas Day 21, but I didn't get a chance to pull it up, so I'm gonna probably upload it here in a few minutes. So I will see you guys on Vlogmas Day 2022, and I'm gonna upload the this morning's video. Okay. All right. Bye, y'all.